What's up, Scoops? Blue Feathers 101 MG requested that I cover Stockholm Syndrome, and since the next episode of Criminal Minds covers Stockholm Syndrome, I thought it was the perfect time. The name was coined in 1973 when a group of robbers took 4 employees hostage in a bank in Stockholm, Sweden. They were stuck there for 6 days, and when the police finally got the hostages out, for almost 2 weeks, they sympathized with and even defended their captors against would-be naysayers. Stockholm Syndrome is also called capture bonding or traumatic bonding. It is believed that it's a leftover trait from our caveman days, where if you were out hunting or gathering food and you were captured by a rival tribe, if you did not assimilate with them very quickly, they would kill you. It is defined as strong emotional ties that develop between 2 persons, where one person intermittently harasses, beats, threatens, abuses, or intimidates the other. Here's a scenario to help you understand how it works. Right now, somebody kidnaps you, begins beating you and threatening your life. Immediately, 2 very strong emotions begin a war inside of you. The incredible and absolute need to please the person who now holds your life in their hands, and an incredible and absolute loathing to the entire experience. One of these emotions has to win out. When it's the need to please, that's when Stockholm Syndrome begins to happen. The reason why is because as humans, we have an intense need for cognitive consistency and an intense need to decrease distress, fear, and anxiety. In search of cognitive consistency, your brain thinks, I can't need to please this person this much and still hate them. So then you unconsciously bring your feelings over to a positive side, where you can then begin looking at this person as an ally. In 1936, Anna Freud, Sigmund Freud's daughter, called this identification with the aggressor. Now that you feel positively about your captor and want to please them, this will of course be rewarded. In any hostage situation where one hostage is willing to attack other hostages, or if a group of hostages is willing to help their hostage taker keep the police out, they will immediately be rewarded by their captor. This in turn decreases the distress, fear, and anxiety, meaning you now feel calm and you feel that all is right with the world. And therefore, Stockholm Syndrome is solidified. One of the most famous American examples of this is, of course, Patty Hearst, who's a newspaper heiress who was kidnapped in 1974 by the Symbionese Liberation Army. Their original intention was to trade her for one of their members who was in jail. After that failed, they decided to use her and the fact that she had developed Stockholm Syndrome to force her father to give money to the poor as well as rob banks, for which she was eventually arrested, convicted, and sent to jail. 22 months later, once everyone realized that she did in fact have Stockholm Syndrome, and would not have been robbing any banks otherwise, she was of course let go. Although the name came from a hostage situation and usually appears full force in hostage situations, it occurs in other places in life. It has been scientifically proven to partially show up in battered wife syndrome, in military basic training, and in fraternity or sorority hazing, as well as several other situations of abuse where it definitely helps you to side with your aggressor. And while Stockholm Syndrome is definitely the more well-known of the two, the exact opposite situation does happen, and it's called Lima Syndrome. Lima Syndrome is when the hostage takers start feeling bad for their hostages. This name was coined in 1996 in Lima, Peru, where a group of abductors took hundreds of people hostage in an ambassador's house. The abductors felt such deep sympathy for their hostages that after only a few hours of keeping them captive, they released almost every single one of the hostages, including a lot of the most valuable ones, just out of sympathy. In fact, it is believed by many psychiatrists that in the play The Phantom of the Opera, Christine and Eric are experiencing Stockholm Syndrome and Lima Syndrome together and mistaking it for love. I hope that covers Stockholm Syndrome for you. If you have any more questions, please ask them in the comments below. And thank you so much to Blue Feathers 101 MG for your question. It was a great one. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and make sure to catch the Stockholm Syndrome episode of Criminal Minds on Wednesday. I absolutely love you guys. My scoops are beautiful, and I'll see you then.